Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up? Sorry, let's do that again.
Hey, what's up, guys? Miles Rice here,
Hey, it's Brian.
all the way over
Miller.
in Banner Elk, and
Yes.
we
Brought
are
together by the magic of technology.
not sponsored by Skype. Hey.
No, ignore the watermark. Ignore the watermark.
Ignore it.
I don't want.
Okay, so today we talk about a few things. You know, we're talking about what is happening on Spillcorn, what we've been doing, what we plan on doing. Actually, we didn't talk about that. I guess we'll have to do that in another podcast.
Hey, plenty of material.
You know,
to
we
go
talk.
around.
Yeah, we talk about a little bit of what's to come in the future, and then we jump over into the Clone Wars, the new season. As we were recording this, it is coming out in 3 days. What is that, Brian?
Yeah, it is. It's coming out this Friday. So whatever Friday is, I think it's the
21st.
21st. The 21st, I believe that's when it's supposed to come
I didn't
out.
do math. I think I just saw that somewhere. Because I'm terrible at math.
Yep.
So we did that, and then we hopped over
21st.
into the teaser of Stranger Things. And we shared
our
I actually
dislikes.
watched it. I watched it here on the podcast. So you get a
live
reaction.
A live reaction. It was amazing.
Oh man. Hold on to your hats.
You'll never see it coming.
Never see it coming.
Spoiler alert.
Oh my goodness. I don't want to spoil it. Okay, so that's that. Welcome to our first video podcast. If you're watching this, if not, thanks for tuning in again.
Thanks for listening.
Let's go ahead and jump into it. I don't know if my mic's in a good place.
Looks fine here. Yeah, it looks fine. You don't want it too far. You don't want it too. You want to show that V-neck. You want to show that V-neck?
No, I don't.
No.
Why?
I don't know. I'm just saying. It's 2020, man. Don't
2020,
you know
bruh.
The objectification of men is now the only way things work. Now. Speaking of meat, I have learned that the most cost-effective way to grocery shop for meat.
I didn't know where that was going.
You have to go when they've marked down meat, like it's a day or two away from expiration, so they'll mark it down and just buy meat. But you need to buy a meat grinder, and not like some super heavy duty like industrial one. But I have like a hand grinder, and I actually hand grind my beef.
Like a mince?
Yeah.
Is it called a mincer?
It's just a meat grinder.
Just like a
it's called a meat grinder. Meat grinder. But so you can get you can buy the pre-ground beef, and you get, you know, if you want cheap beef, it usually is like the suckiest beef you could possibly get. It's like biting into like the joints of an animal, like a bunch of gristle and cartilage and stuff. It's just tastes gritty. But if you can get like cheap, good cuts of meat and grind it into taco meat, burger patties, and it's so much more cost effective, and you get better quality ground meat. Plus, you can grind chicken and grind turkey and grind pork, and it's just more cost effective. And you have to spend some time grinding it, but that's just my tip for the day.
In life, you just got to grind, man. You just got to grind.
You just got to grind. And yeah, that story was all to lead to. You just got to grind.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I was just
I think we. Well, I think we should bring attention to the fact that we are live. We're showing our faces this go around.
Yes, we are. Look
right?
at that.
You're in your fancy lipstick.
it's it's the freaking colors. The grading on my deal is just not. I don't.
Sure, whatever. Hey, it's okay. I'm not gonna judge.
Yeah, it's just a
you
little bizarre.
do you. It's 2020, bro. It's 2020.
Were we just saying? Hey, that's right. We were just saying that. Yeah, no judgment here. My little tangerine lips. Delightful.
Well, I think it's safe to say that we're changing the format here. Well, not really changing the format. We're still talking about the things that we want to talk about, like, you know, nerdy, geeky culture and all that. But, you know, I think it's, no, but we talked about this. And hi, I'm Miles Rice, and I'm talking with Brian Miller here. This is our first time we're doing Skype. I should have done introduction here. Clearly, I'm rusty. But we decided that we wanted to do some video and just kind of broaden our audience, reach out to more people on YouTube, and try and get them over and just listen, you know, put some earbuds in and listen to us. And so we're trying this out, but, you know, rather than bottleneck ourselves, pigeonhole ourselves, we're kind of expanding what we might want to talk about, not just within the geek, nerdy culture. I mean, it's called the Expendable Opinion Podcast. You know, we can talk about anything and everything, whatever's coming to our mind. And, you know, first up, I guess we could just go ahead and talk about, you know, Brian, you and I are the creators of Spillcorn, and you know we're figuring things out. You know, I'm doing Done Seen It. You know, the quote unquote movie reviews on YouTube and sharing my thoughts on movies that I'm seeing, TV shows and whatnot. And then we're using the Expendable Opinion Podcast as a way to kind of deep dive further. Excuse me, and get, you know. I'm interested in hearing other people's thoughts. I like sharing mine, but I like stepping outside of that. So, and then you tried doing the whole Brian ain't a gamer thing, right?
Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun little experiment. As an art form for escapism, I guess there's like very few media that you can like jump into and really experience the freedom of what the artist was trying to portray to you. You know, when you look at a painting, there's only one way to look at a painting. When you listen to a music, there's usually only one way to interpret music and what it's doing to the listener. But video games are like the only art form that you and the creator are almost simultaneously experiencing the game. Yeah, they're like building the game and doing all the art design and everything, but playing the game is as immersive, if not more immersive than film. So for me, playing video games was almost like art appreciation, and I was trying to convey that in Brian and a Gamer. The stretch, there's just going to be so much work into making those episodes what I want them to be, that it just turned into gameplay videos. And those are fun, but doesn't feel like that's Spillcorn so much as it is just gaming videos. And I don't, you know, maybe one day gaming videos are something we can play around with when we're not grinding to get things actually moving and in the direction that Spillcorn's supposed to go. I don't know. It was fun.
I mean, heck, we could probably on one of these days we could do something here on the podcast, you know,
right?
Where, you know, we are sharing our opinions on the experience at hand. But, you know, I think it's cool that we're kind of just diving in and just creating. You know, I think that's the biggest thing. We have a clear direction of where we want to go with Spillcorn. And we're just kind of taking baby steps with it to build a community and kind of get people interested in who we are, what we like, and get their thoughts on things and just share, you know, life, I guess, in a way. But, you know, I think it's cool that you did that. It was just very production heavy. You know, you're having to do a lot of footwork ahead of time, you know, and And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let him do it. Maybe he'll figure something cool out along the way.
I had
so
some cool ideas, but yeah, I'd record. Maybe if I was doing shorter episodes, it would be easier to edit, but still, like, it still stands that trying to make it about what Spillcorn's about was such a stretch. Like, and if I was to blend those two worlds together, there'd be so much more work involved in getting those episodes to be like what Spillcorn's about, that it would take away from being able to write and do other stuff. And yeah, but it was fun. I was recording like 2.5 hours of gameplay and then trying to chop that up. And so I'm just sitting there for 8-9 hours. I'm like, good God, I'm never getting these things done. And so it was, it was a lot of work for just 3 episodes, and they're okay. They're not my favorite things that I've made, but they're fun. They were fun to make and play. The game Doom. I'd never played that game before, so it was fun.
Yeah,
I love video games,
and that's the biggest.
I just don't think
that's the biggest part of it, though, is to have fun doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like on my end, with Done Seen It. I'm after watching the movie, that's X amount of time. I have to watch the movie or TV show, and so that can be anywhere between an hour and a half to 10 hours.
That's just watching it. That's not like writing stuff.
Yeah, and then I spend probably an hour and a half kind of just like fine tuning my thoughts, and then taking all of those bullet points and all of those just little snippets of information and filming it takes me about 20 minutes, and then it takes me about an hour to fine tune everything, cut out all the dead air and all that, put in, all the bells and whistles.
Right.
So, it's like everybody's like, "Oh, I watched your cute little 7-minute video," and we're like, "Yeah, well, that took me a day. I'm glad you thought it was cute."
All that work that I put in for a cute 7-minute episode, perfect. That's exactly what I want to hear.
Dude, so we were at a gathering, a little get together over at Justin's place, and somebody brought it up that they had seen that I was doing the movie reviews again, and then they started asking me, they were like, "Oh yeah, I saw that you watched 1917 and you reviewed it, blah blah blah. What did you think?" And I'm like, "Go watch it. Like, I spent all this time making this video. Okay, if you don't want to watch it, that's fine. Just hit play, let it play in the background, share it." I'm like, "Do you guys not get it? Like, I spend all of this time making this stuff so you can hear my thoughts. If you really want to know my thoughts, it's right there." I'm like, that is work. That's work for me. That's work. Go enjoy this thing I made and share it with your friends. And I don't know. It was, I kind of went off, and then I was like, "I'm sorry that I did that." But I'm like, "Y'all you're supposed to be my friends.
Building this thing. I'm not giving it to you live.
Yeah. I'm already doing it for free, bro. I'm not going to do it free twice.
Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah. I always wait for the reviews, because I know if you send me something, if I start asking you questions, you're probably already getting stuff written down, and I'll just wait for it. I'll wait for it, just like everybody else.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Of course. Of course.
So what do you want to talk about, dude?
Man, I got 2 things on my mind. On my mind.
Hit me. And so here's the new format. Like, anybody who comes on can talk about whatever, and I may not know, since I'm kind of heading this up. Brian can probably step in if you want to at some point, we're still working out the kinks, but pretty much whoever's hosting, they don't have to know what's going on. And if, Brian gave me a little heads up of what he wanted to talk about, and I still kind of don't know anything, because I haven't finished them, for one, and then I don't think I've seen the other. So you only had two things that you wanted to talk about, right?
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit more about like Spillcorn, the channel that's growing. Like I feel like
we can do that.
Because we're going to be posting these on Spillcorn, the Spillcorn channel, and
right.
What that looks like, what we're working on alongside of this, why it's important for people to like share stuff, even if they can't support us in any other way other than just getting our stuff out there as we grow.
Yeah,
we're
we are planning on doing a Patreon page and all of that,
right?
So you guys can support the podcast and everything else we're doing on YouTube.
Yeah, and it's
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I mean just the. I think maybe we start. I mean, people saw the fake interview about our meeting, but that's kind of the starting point that built into what Spillcorn is becoming, and then what it will be later on, I guess. Where
I mean, we filmed that like what, a year and a half ago?
Maybe, yeah. It was
my hair is like 3 times longer, and yours is 3 times shorter.
I think it was like shortly after we did chicken. It was maybe 6 months after we did chicken. I mean, it was a while.
And if you don't know what chicken is our short film that we did for the Regal Short Film Showdown that didn't get chosen for Best Picture. We're not bitter about it.
Maybe, what?
It's really stupid. It's really stupid we didn't win.
One of the first live things we do with Patreon patrons is we should have like a screening of all of the winners and then screen chicken for our Patreon, like a certain level of Patreon. Anyway, that's like a sidebar. That's a sidebar for Expendable Opinion Podcast. I'll just throw them out there.
I'm okay with that.
But yeah, I feel like from my end of Spillcorn, I'm writing stuff for us to make, and we'll ultimately make, and
features, sketches, short films.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're two guys who love storytelling, love film, love the creative process, and I've always wanted a place where those creative works would end up being broadcast out there, and I think you and I have such a similar voice creatively, sense of humor, what stories we want to tell, values we share. I think that it'll be a fun little channel to see grow and what comes out of it. So
totally. And I think it's so, we've talked about this, but not publicly, but like, I think it's so cool how we met and ran into each other, because like, out of all the places, like, of course it would be a movie theater, but Brian, you used to be my boss.
Yeah.
And then, of course there's parts of our channel trailer on YouTube. There's parts of it that are true. Like, he totally did say that I was Bush number 2, or asked that I was in Hunger Games. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go on the channel and watch the video. Show us some support and subscribe.
Definitely subscribe.
But I think it's so cool that, two people, just by happenstance, who have they're like-minded. We have like you said, similar sense of humor and creativity, and overall what kind of message we want to tell in stories.
Yeah.
And what stories we don't want to tell, more importantly.
And a certain irreverence to really, I don't know. It's an irreverent sarcasm to life in general that, like, there's literally stories behind pretty much everything, and trying to mine those, especially in the South, and especially in like people on a mental, emotional level, that I don't see a lot of people creating material and stories about, that I think you and I get like wrapped up in, and get, you know, those little weird quirky characters and things that we've got that are just so specific and so like nuanced that I don't know. I just don't see a voice. The closest one I'd think of would be the dude who directed Napoleon Dynamite, but it's not even that. It's not pushed to that point, but it's close enough that it's like there's a quirkiness about it, but there's something quirky and comfortable.
Letterkenny is very much.
Yeah.
It's very much like it,
yes.
That's our style.
Yes.
Very much so.
Yes. Man, if we could ever meet those guys, that'd be awesome. But yeah. Oh yeah, that's definitely like right in that same vein. It's just that weird sort of bend, a little irreverent, a little, you know, but like it's a wholesome irreverence. I don't know what I don't know. But
we'll work on that one.
Yeah, but like the fact that we've got Opie and Lester, which the test sketches are on the Spillcorn channel for people to watch.
And I think we got like one or two more that I need to edit and put out. Well, re-edit, I should say.
And, you know, working on stuff with those two characters and the story that gets built out from them, and future things within not even just the South, but in science fiction and the Star Wars community and everything that we've got. That just it's funny that we were able to meet at the time we met, because at the time, like, I was done. I didn't expect I was going to be doing anything creative. I would just end up working at the theater and work up the ladder. And, you know, by the time I was going to the corporate offices to get more certifications so that I could become a first assistant and then a general manager. I honestly thought that that's the direction that my life was heading, because I didn't have anybody in my social sphere that did anything creative especially filmmaking. And so, you know, I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm just a career movie theater guy. And, you know, it's like, it's almost like being in a friend zone with somebody that you're absolutely attracted to. You see all these movies, you study how they're made, you follow the directors, the writers, and everything. It's like you're in love with movies, but then all you get to do is give it a high five and it'll be like, good job. You know, you don't get to be like in a relationship with it. You just get to be a buddy with it and get to see it come and go and break your heart, keep you up until 3 a.m. in the morning. And, you know, I just think it's, you know, it was at a time I was like, I'm not going to write anything. I'm not going to write a movie. I'm not going to do any of this stuff. And now it's like, all right, I feel like we can just rev each other up enough and get Spillcorn to where we're clawing at this thing. And I think that we've got enough funny stuff that people will like it. And I'm glad that we're starting momentum on it. So, yeah. So I think that's why I think that, especially when it goes back to Brian Ain't a Gamer, it just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit that mold. It doesn't fit that tone right now. Who knows what will happen later on? Who knows?
And I mean, it was just I think it was just an idea of, okay, what can we do to generate just views
and gaming is such a big thing, but you have to be in
hardcore
it. This
game.
is it. This is it. I'm a gamer.
That's all you do.
I don't want to be a gamer. I play video games. I'm not a gamer. I'm a art appreciator. So when I play games, I'm like, oh, look at that. Oh, I wonder how they did that. Ooh, I did. Ooh. I'm not like going for the win. I don't care about that stuff. So, yeah. So I feel like, you know, fleshing out and talking about the underpinning inspiration of Spillcorn is a good little intro to that. And who knows where it's going to go. I think it's going to be great. I just want everybody.
For sure.
I just want everybody to join us. I want everybody to join us.
Yeah, and they will. And then they'll be like, "Can I be a part of that?" And it'll be like 3 years into it, and you're like, "Sorry, you weren't there in the beginning."
Here's our Patreon link. You can buy a t-shirt. You can buy a t-shirt.
Give us like $2 a month.
Give us 5 so you can see the behind the scenes of stuff or whatever. Who knows what?
Yeah.
I don't want to give too much away.
Oh no.
Now the other thing
we got some cool things.
The other thing I want to talk about.
Go for it.
Clone Wars, the final season, will be out as of this recording in like 3 days.
3 days.
And I remember when I saw that they were going to release it.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was fake because back in the day, I maybe 3 or 4 years ago, there was somebody who posted, like, somebody from Lucasfilm or somebody leaked like test footage or like animatics of it, like early models, early renderings and things. And I was like, it just looks fake. It doesn't look real. And if you watch Clone Wars up to the end of the final season that we have up to this point, it feels like it's a nice cohesive whole story. Obviously, you want more Star Wars. I always want more Star Wars. I don't care if it's done. I don't care if they cancel I want more of the Han series. There's more, stuff in Star Wars. I just want all of it.
I'm good on that, but I mean, if they're going to do Han, cast the right person. I didn't hate him. He's just not who I would have chosen. But I don't think have we ever talked about that? Have we talked about Han Solo?
Maybe like in passing. I feel like
I mean, we did nearly have a 2-hour episode talking about Star Wars, so I'm sure.
I'm pretty sure it was in there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in there.
But no, there's Sorry, I interrupted.
But this that's okay. This final season is when they announced it. Well, I thought when Disney bought out Lucasfilm, and then there was all the discussion of what they were going to keep as canon and what they weren't going to keep as canon. I thought that they were going to do away with the Clone Wars, which I thought that would have been a huge mistake to leave all that stuff out, because there's so much, like, as a Star Wars geek, that's like, if you've got your main saga is like the gospel, those Clone Wars are like the little epistles and little stories that you're like, you just soak those things up, because there's so many little rich details that flesh out the world. And there was was it 6 seasons? I can't remember how many seasons it was now, but there's so many seasons of it, and there's so many stories, and there's so much lore surrounding every character that you're familiar with from the saga, that it was so good. And I thought they were going to do away with it, but then when they didn't do away with it, and then I heard of this possible final season that was written, and they were working on it before Disney came in and swooped in and stopped everything. I was like, this could be cool. This would be a really neat, like, tack on at the end. But at the time I was nervous, because I was like, they butted up right against like events that were taking place just before Revenge of the Sith. And right. I didn't know how they were going to be able to, what that meant going into the Revenge of the Sith. And so when they announced the trailer dropped for this final season, immediately you hear, and it's like right when they drop it, like right before or right after Rise of Skywalker. And so you've got everybody complaining about why Rey took the last name Skywalker. Spoilers. Why Palpatine was back. Why all the stupid fan stuff that they've done to Star Wars and have like crippled the studio to be able to make anything good. So they started, I saw people started complaining about the fact that they were showing stuff from Revenge of the Sith in Clone Wars. Now, immediately I'm thinking, when I watch certain things, like Mace Windu says a line that he says in Revenge of the Sith. There's Padme wearing the same clothes that she was wearing in Revenge of the Sith. Anakin's got the same hairstyle, everything. Like, when I look at that, I was like, now wait a second. Technically, the Clone Wars continues through Revenge of the Sith and ends when Grievous is killed. Like, that's the standard that they've set in Revenge of the Sith, that war ends when he's dead. So when Obi-Wan kills Obi-Wan kills Grievous, the Clone Wars finishes. So technically the Clone Wars is going on until Emperor Palpatine takes over and redirects the war to the Jedi. So we could see, I mean, Clone Wars is still going on into the movie Revenge of the Sith. So I'm super excited about it. I'm super happy that I hope there's a ton of episodes in this season. I hope there's a full 24 or whatever that they do, 22, so that I can binge watch it and enjoy all of the goodness of the Clone Wars of this last season.
But what do you think? I mean, how long has it been since the last season?
Let me look that up. I think it's like 4 years.
Just 4? I feel like it's been longer than that.
Really? Let me see.
Yeah. At least it feels that way to me.
Let me see here. I'm thinking, wait a second, maybe it's been way longer. I might be wrong. Oh. Season 6 ended Lucasfilm announced in 2013 that the series would wind down, and the final episodes were in 2014. So 6 years. Okay. Wow. I must be stuck in 2018. That's the only logical conclusion I can come to. So
it's the advancements that we've made, like as far as like CGI goes, like it's going to be crazy. Just from season 1 to season 6, because I just recently started watching Clone Wars again, and I've always thought it was weird that they released them they're not in chronological order.
Yeah.
Right? At least on Netflix or wherever or Disney Plus now.
Nope.
So they're not. And I think I found it weird. Not that it's a big issue, but I mean, you can go online and find out, like, which episode's supposed to be happening when, and you can watch it in that order. But I just kind of started hammering through it. And I think I caught like season 6, an episode from season 6, and the graphics in season 6 was like way better than
1,000 times
1.
better.
Yeah. So I can only imagine. I mean, just from what we've seen, I haven't compared it side to side with or season 6, but it looks really good.
I saw somebody pointed out like Obi-Wan or maybe it was Anakin. Somebody struck their lightsaber, and when it ignited, the dust around the lightsaber was moving. So like they had to have put a ton of time into this. And I'm sure if Disney was behind it and they realized that, I think they're going to be dialing into this streaming stuff, a lot more of series. Yeah. I'd be interested to see what they do with
and we're getting another season of Rebels too. They're wrapping that up.
Rebels?
Did you hear that?
No.
Yeah,
I thought that was done, man.
No, they added another season just recently, and they're
gonna do a whole Sabine and Ezra deal. I hope they do. I hope they give a little conclusion to Ezra.
Yeah, well, they have to, because you hear him, spoilers, in Skywalker, Rise of Skywalker.
No, do you hear Ezra?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was listed in the credits.
You hear.
Am I wrong? I know you hear Kanan, but
maybe you
Ahsoka.
did. You do hear Ahsoka. I hope that they do. There's rumblings of them doing an Ahsoka live action, which would be dope.
Well, she's supposed to pop up in the Obi-Wan.
I hope so. Oh man, I hope
Yeah.
so.
I think that might be why they're doing some rewrites, because they might be putting her in there a lot more. And, well, I don't think that's just the reason. I know they're fine-tuning a lot of
I saw
the script and everything.
Yeah,
you saw the thing with Ewan?
Ewan McGregor said that the scripts are good, but they want them better. And I think
I'm
originally
okay
it was going to be 6 episodes, then it chopped down to 4 because of the amount of material they had to work with. And then it was like, well, maybe we'll do a feature length thing, but I hope they keep it as a series and just fill it out with more story.
Yeah, just do a series, man. Come on. Like, milk that puppy. Give me everything. Give me all the things.
I also heard that that they were trying to get Hayden Christensen back. They were trying to get
that wouldn't be
Liam
hard.
Neeson back. But see, Hayden Christensen said that even though he had a hard time with the freaking fans, man. Anyway, but even though he had a hard time with the that's my sub point to the Clone Wars. I'm gonna have it go a little yammering on about the freaking fans, man.
Yeah, I did that a little bit in my Rise of Skywalker.
I saw
review. That. I was like, I have to. I can't ignore this. Like,
no.
Fans are the worst part of Star Wars.
It's unfortunate.
In all the movies, it is.
And we have
awful.
We're spoiled. That's all it is. We're spoiled. Anyways, Hayden Christensen said he would be glad to come back to the Star Wars universe if he's asked, because he loves it so much. We don't deserve it. We don't deserve him. My rant about not just Star Wars fans, but fandom in general at this point in 2020. We have this sense of entitlement over these IPs that because we love them, we're somehow entitled to them caving to our every whim. It drives me nuts.
I think it's because all the majority of the fans that have complaints think they have a direct line, which they kind of do.
Right.
Like with social media, YouTube, all of it.
That's cool.
But, it's fine. That's the reason this is called the Expendable Opinion Podcast. It's like we can say and share all that we want, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like, we got what we got, and we either need to learn to love it or move on.
Well, see, fans. What I have this. I hate when you watch the original Star Wars, even when you watch the prequel Star Wars, and when you watch this current trilogy, there's very little, and it's not just Star Wars, but like science fiction in general. There was some sort of turn that took place in, I want to say the 2000s, where, for lack of a better opinion, people got stupid. They just got dumb. They didn't want to have to use their brain meat to figure out how a story works. They don't care about how the story is supposed to work. Everybody is these stupid people that sit next to you in the movies and go, "What did he say? What was that? Who's that? Who's that?" And the whole audience turned into all those people instead of people just watching and hoping that the artist, the director, the writer, the actor gives them what they need to fill in the blanks. And so what started happening was filmmakers realized that the audiences were getting stupid, and they wanted to be able to make sure that they were respecting the audience by saying...
And they did this. They're like, here's the spoon.
They freaking gave it to them. Yes.
Here comes the... me.
So what has happened is we now have all these people who pretend that they're nerds, who pretend that they're fans, who, because they like something and they bought the toys, because they bought into the marketing side of all of this machine in Hollywood, and they're like, okay, I'm a fan because I have this t-shirt, I bought this ticket, I went to see it every single time it drops, I've been spoon fed all of this stuff. Now I want what I want. And they're just spoiled. That's all it is. It's like a kid that's only eating chicken nuggets, but it's good for him to eat broccoli. But they're not thinking of the fact that, well, maybe broccoli is good for me. Maybe I need to make the mature decision and just respect the storyteller. This brats. Is his story.
Brats.
Yeah, this is her story. This is his story. This is their story. This is what they've all contributed to bring to the screen. And let's enjoy what they brought. And you can say, I didn't like that. It's not my favorite. That's cool. That's fine. But it's still, you need to appreciate the fact that it is the art that was presented and not like your art, that you are somehow the customer. You are a retroactive customer. The art is made, the product is made, and you don't have to buy a ticket unless you feel like you have to buy a ticket, and that's your own thing. There's this weird bridge that's been built because of bad writing, bad filmmaking, bad marketing, and not bad like unsuccessful, just bad like, why do we have to keep making this stuff just so that we can keep sheep buying tickets? And because what starts happening is studios like Lucasfilm, and this is why I say the fans have killed. This is why with this whole Baby Yoda thing, and you've heard me rage about Baby Yoda. It's not Baby Yoda. Jon Favreau calls it the child for a reason. They call it a child because he's the person that dreamed this up and wrote this and created this whole story. And we need to respect it and we need to honor it for what it is, not make it our own thing. Because what starts happening is the fandom go and they get in their little circles and they say, who do you think this Baby Yoda is? And they're like, I think because he was so close to the clones, he cloned himself. And so we start coming up with these dumb, not even realistic stories because they don't even fit into the story that's being told. Right. They are our own stories. And so we start
fantasies.
Thinking, oh, I want this.
They're fantasies that they're repeated over and over and over and become ingrained in each of our brains that so we say it so much, it's like there's no other way. And this is the way it's going to be. And if it's a different way, it's not right.
That is, honestly, that's what happened. That's what I think happened to Jar Jar Binks. You know the theory that Jar Jar Binks was a Sith.
Oh yeah, I think it was
what I think
a bunch of people
Jar Jar
going,
Binks.
I hate this character. How can he be good?
And so honestly, now when we hear that potential theory, okay, so I've read the episode 1 script, and there are moments when Jar Jar Binks says something that it didn't make it into the final cut. Jake, get out. My dogs, gosh. So there are moments when they are. Oh my gosh.
Hey, Lance.
I'm gonna have to. Miles says, "Hey."
Oh, sorry.
Can you get Jake out?
I'm trying.
Quit saying sorry. It's so embarrassing. Oh my god.
All right. So there is a. I've lost my train of thought now.
Jar Jar Binks, Sith, theory, scripts, episode 1. Go.
Gotcha. Okay, so so that theory, there's in the script there when you read things that Jar Jar Binks says, there's a point where when Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon and Anakin land in Coruscant, right? And Jar Jar Binks says something. Well, there's a line that was written from Obi-Wan that he says, "I sense a distraction," right after when Qui-Gon Jinn says something. Or right after when Jar Jar Binks says something. So there's bits and pieces in the original script that George Lucas wrote that it actually lends itself to Jar Jar Binks being something more sinister than he was. Plus, the actor who played Jar Jar Binks said that he always put something behind Jar Jar, that when the theory came out, he never confirmed it, nor he didn't deny it, but he did say, it's good to see people paying attention to something that I put into it that wasn't necessarily brought to screen. So what I think happened was the fans did the same thing to Jar Jar Binks that we did to, so Lucas is like, oh, we got to cut this because everybody hates Jar Jar. And so he changed the story up. And what we got was this muddy political drama. And it was all these weird little moves from Palpatine instead of what it could have been, which was a character play between Jar Jar Binks and Anakin growing up together, being close, and Jar Jar Binks having some serious, ties with the Sith. But that never happened. And I think that the fans killed that because they just complained about this dude that could have been a cool thing. And I think George Lucas should have had a little testicular fortitude to be like, I'm going to stick with my guns. If it flops, it flops. But at least you've stuck, as an artist, you at least stuck with your guns. And so I think the same thing happened to Jar Jar Binks is what happened to freaking Rey's parents. And this is why I hate the fandom. You watch Force Awakens, and yeah, it's a big thing that you don't know where she comes from. But I think that J.J. Abrams was setting that up so that it would come around full circle to reveal something even more sinister or more revealing later on. But what did the fandom do? They started speculating on whether or not she was a child of Leia, Han, Luke. And so all of these theories came out. I said she was a Palpatine. I said she was a Palpatine.
You did.
As soon as that helmet came down and she's looking around eating her little deal, I'm like, oh, she's Emperor's. She's the Emperor. She's got the same accent, everything. Anyways, but what happened was everybody made it about her lineage rather than the Force, which is what Star Wars has been about from the very beginning. That's the line. And so I understand where JJ feels like he was leaning with it, but then the fans took it in such a stupid direction. And so what happened was Rian Johnson wrote his own thing. He wanted to do his own tale. I love The Last Jedi. We don't have to jump into that because I know there's strong opinions about that.
We've already talked. We spent nearly 3 hours talking about it.
Sorry.
Moving on.
So I think what's happened with the fans is they have taken, and just fandom in general, they take these ideas, and that goes for Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Indiana Jones. I mean, it goes anywhere. And you just think, I have my own idea of what story I want because in my head, this is what I want. And plus, they've been spoon-fed everything from crappy anime to crappy science fiction to crappy drama. And people don't know what stories are anymore. They don't know what film is about anymore. They just think it's this spectacle. And so the studios have to cave to that because now it's a system of just making money and not necessarily telling stories. And you hope that you find a happy medium, but there is no happy medium, especially with the fans. They want their own way or whatever. And so with Clone Wars, I was super nervous because everybody started complaining about, oh, why are we seeing stuff from Revenge of the Sith? It's Clone Wars. It's not Revenge of the Sith. And I'm thinking, why are you getting wrapped up in that? They're bridging the gap between these two worlds now. Why are you getting caught up in that? But the fans, just that fandom in general, I've lost my respect for it. I don't call myself
I think what you're saying is there's more, rather than trying to seek understanding, they seek what's the word? Flaws. I guess not the exact word that I was looking for. They're seeking
critique.
So poisonous. I feel like social media has, and I hope it's a phase that we're going to be getting out of. But in a way, it's cyberbullying. Like you are tearing down something that's being built for you. And when creators are very vulnerable human beings, so and not only that, they have the creators have people over them going, you have to do this, because the people who just look at dollar signs, they're going, no, you have to do this because this is what they want. They don't know what we want. We don't know what we want until we get it. So it's the job of the creator to go and make the thing and teach the lesson. That is the point of a story, and that's why stories are told, to teach a lesson, not just be pure. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love a good action flick that doesn't have like
There's
really much of a spine at all. Just it's pure escapism.
Right.
But Star Wars is not that. There's actually a deeper meaning to it. And Rian Johnson searched for a deeper meaning. There are good pieces in that film I like, but there were other things that were, in my opinion, they were careless. But that it happens so many times in so many other films, and it is what it is. It's someone else's take on the world that we're diving into, not our own.
Yeah. So I think the Clone Wars reveal really showed how fed up I was with fandom in general. God forbid we ever make anything specifically for fans. I want us to always make stuff for us. And if they like it, they like it.
Right.
And they're going to like it. But if they don't,
somebody's going to like
hopefully hopefully they're respectful enough to be like, and see, I don't mind, if I want to write right now, I want to write a Super Mario fan fiction for like an origin story. I've got one started. I had one started like 7 years ago. I pulled it up and I was reading it. I was like,
ago.
Yeah. So I was reading it. I was like, this is actually pretty cool. I need to flesh this out and finish it up and make it just like, maybe make it a graphic novel or something if I could find somebody to make art for it. But that would be mine. It's not, the creator of Mario's job to fit my image of that. If I want a story within this world, make it yourself. We live in an age where you can do that. You can actually go and just make your own stuff. What happens is most people are too lazy. They don't know how to do it, and they just want to complain about it. So if we ever make anything that gets people complain about, I'm going to just be like, I don't care. I like it. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm sure there's other people that like it. Not to ostracize people that don't like it, but there's a certain level of like mutual respect each person, fan and creator, have to have for each other to say, you are welcome to dislike it.
Right.
I am welcome to not listen to what you dislike about it.
Right.
I don't know.
And I think that I hope what we make, and I hope that we make this clear, is whatever I make, whatever you make, whatever we make, I want someone to step back after they watch it and go, why was this made?
Right.
What's being said? Because if I'm making something, there's a purpose to it. And it may not be like, as apparent as the nose on my face right now. But it's there. There's a reason that I came up with an idea. There's a reason you came up with an idea. And there's a reason that it was molded and shaped and presented. I feel like if we're not questioning actions or, just really asking questions all the time, then we're doing ourselves a disservice. We're not growing as a human being, and therefore, by us not growing, we're not contributing to society and making it a better place. and that's the overall purpose of storytelling, is to learn from our mistakes and grow from them.
And broadcast what you're learning and present value to the people that are watching it and participating in it, and just pose questions and say, you can either answer it and you might reach a different conclusion, but that's, whether or not that's the intention of the creator doesn't necessarily mean you have to say it was bad because you just didn't get to the same conclusions. It's all still conversation. Storytelling is all conversation in a way.
Yeah.
It's a way to present.
It honestly just boils down. Is it for me, or was it, it wasn't for me, or it was for me?
Right.
Yeah. This whole thing, like, I don't like it, or I don't know.
Just writing something off completely because it didn't have your level. Like, I freaking hate. I'm sure there's good anime out there. The anime that I've watched sucks. I mean, it's okay.
What have you watched?
I watched Death Note. That one sucked, and I
haven't
was
watched
told that it
one.
was really good, and it was compelling for like the first 3 episodes.
Have you seen Your Lie in September?
No, I said, I'm sure there's stuff.
Dude, that one's so good. It's so good. And Avatar: Last Airbender, it's great. It's American anime, but it's really good.
Okay, maybe I'll take a look at those. But I was watching it, and it's like, it's just droning. Like, you're not watching the characters interact with each other. You're watching the characters talk at each other, and they're like saying, "You have enraged me, and for that you must pay." And then you're like, "Oh, okay, so I know what's going on with this guy."
That's a lot of bad translation. Like, I feel like a lot of it can be lost in translation.
Maybe, but the narrative is literally.
I watch a lot of just subtitles.
The narrative is basically spoon-fed to the audience, and I feel like sometimes it's just. Yeah. I think audiences have gotten so used to that, they're like, they dislike anything that requires them to have to like think and put themselves in the perspective.
So
of another
we started here.
person.
I think we're like doing this right now.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. Yeah. It's cool. We started with Clone Wars, and now we're close because we started talking about anime. But
I knew I was gonna rage against fandom when I started with Clone Wars. I knew what direction I was going. I didn't know. I did too.
I sniffed it out. I could smell it all the way over here in Asheville.
I didn't think it was going to take this long, but
I guess I didn't make that apparent. Brian is over in Banner Elk, and I'm in Weaverville.
Yeah, I'm an hour and a half away.
Podcast. So
yeah.
With
yay! The technology that we have. Last thing I wanna rage about.
Please, can you just hurry up and shut up?
Did you see the trailer for or the teaser for Stranger Things season 4?
I did not. I did a terrible thing, and I didn't watch it before we started doing this. I should have been like, "Hey, before we start, let me watch this," but I didn't do it.
Well, then I'm gonna leave you with this.
Give me a thought, and we can rally on it later.
Well, once the full trailer drops, we'll have to talk about it. Hopefully Scott can be on that one too. I'd like to hear his thoughts as well.
I miss Scott. I've not seen him in a while.
I know.
Scott, miss you. He doesn't listen to the podcast, by the way. Like, he's like, I'm good. So he probably won't listen in. Yeah. So we could talk like immense crap about him right now, and he would never know until someone walked into the shop and was like, "Yo, Scott, they were trash talking you on the podcast. What happened? Why weren't you on the podcast, Scott? Because you suck. You suck, Scott." Sorry. Continue.
No, that's okay. Stop apologizing. Sorry. Okay. I'll just leave you with this.
Please.
While I'm simultaneously excited and disappointed from a marketing standpoint, they revealed something that they shouldn't have.
Oh, I hate that. Oh.
When you watch it, I'd be interested to see how you react to it when you watch it right now. Trailer.
Should I pull it up and just watch it?
I want to see your reaction. Let me see your reaction, because I wonder if you'd have the same reaction as I do. It's like a weird bittersweet thing to know.
Since our connection's so good, you're going to be able to see my reaction so clearly.
And it's
The New York Times, Ben Affleck discusses sobriety. It took me a long time to fundamentally, deeply, without a hint of doubt, admit to myself that I am an alcoholic. Anyways,
I wonder what he's gonna pin on his alcoholism now. I'm such a conspiracy theorist. Whenever I read those things, I'm like, that's just a stepping stone to something else. Why she's gonna find out that he's a wife beater, and then I don't want to say that allegedly. I don't know. I'm just saying, if it comes out that he is, he'll be like, yeah, it's because of my alcoholism on account of I made a press release 5 months ago about it. Duh. I have a problem.
This came out 4
sick.
days ago. Did it come out 4 days ago?
Teaser, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna watch it.
I want to see a reaction. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts.
How long
Fresh.
is it? Is it a minute?
It's a minute. Yeah, it's a teaser. It's not a full.
This is not a paid sponsorship by Google. Okay.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I don't want Google's money.
Shh. Oh, we are in Russia. Your face. This is my favorite song. Man, why? Why?
Yes.
Why?
See?
We didn't need to. We knew. Why? We didn't need to.
See?
Why?
Telling you. That's what I was telling you.
Why? We don't need to know.
There's like
Spoilers
that. There's
here.
like that flash.
Don't watch the trailer, but I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it. Why? Why are they showing him alive? We know that he's alive.
I don't know.
Because here's the thing. Here's the rule. Here's the rule in film. If you do not see someone dead on screen, they are not dead. It's the rule. We know he's not dead. Don't show us what he's doing. I don't need who. Sorry, Eric Voss. Go away. Dude, really?
Yep, that's what I was saying.
Okay,
there's like that flash of excitement.
If they were just gonna do that, that's it. If they were just gonna do that.
What you mean by I do that if they were just gonna do that?
Of course you don't, because you don't listen, Siri. That's why our relationship's on the rock.
What's happened?
Yeah, sorry. We just can't. Okay? We have a hard time communicating. I just don't.
I think you guys will get through this. No, you'll get through it. I believe in you guys.
I know. We will. We'll talk about this.
You guys have gotten through. I'm okay. Sorry.
I don't know. I
see, from a marketing standpoint, that seemed really. What it's showing me is that these storytellers are risk averse.
Hold on, I may have to get up and. My cat's so stupid. I have a foam thing up in the window to help sound, and Damien. Oh my god. Okay, we're good. I thought he was gonna fall.
It's like the dogs running around back here making noise. So, but that was such a stupid. That feels like a dumb move, wasn't it?
I mean, maybe not a dumb move. We don't.
It's
we
not
don't know.
Dumb.
It's just not.
Are they gonna pull out a twin brother situation?
I think they could have teased something else. They got an entire season. They could have teased something else. But why tease with that? That's not a teaser. That's a spoiler.
I don't want a spoiler.
I don't want to know what he's doing.
I knew. Everybody was hoping he wasn't dead. That's the thing that's the carrot you dangle to get people to watch, right? I mean, I'm gonna watch it. I love Stranger Things.
You see, when it started pushing in on a dude, I knew it was him. They didn't even have to take it off. Why show his face? Shoot something that's not in the actual series. Star Wars has done it. All the Marvel films have done it. There are scenes in the trailers that are not in the movies. Do it. You got the money and you got the people there. Take the extra time and shoot something that's not even in the stinking thing. Like, tease me with, oh, it's coming. We know it's coming, but don't give anything away. I don't know. Maybe that's what they did. Maybe he is dead.
Or show him. If you're going to show him on a gurney.
Yeah.
I mean, make the question more. Is he really dead? Show him on a gurney. Make him look like he's on an autopsy table or something, and he's not really dead. But make that a part of the story if you're gonna do. I don't know. I think that was so frustrating. I mean, it was exciting. It was great, but
but
it's great to know. But for crying out loud, they shouldn't have done it. They shouldn't have done it. That's so funny. I was hoping you'd have that reaction. I was going to be really disappointed if you were going to be like, oh, I'm so happy he's alive.
No.
And not even make any mention of the fact that they freaking spoiled one of the biggest things for season 4.
And I think we talked about that. I think we talked about that, like, that he wasn't dead. There was no way.
No, you don't see it. You're right. If you don't see it,
he's not seen dead, he's
if you don't see it on screen, he's still alive. Yep, that's the rule. That is the rule. Yeah, so I'm excited about it, but
likewise. And this is the final season, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think they were because I think the creator and writers didn't want to taint it by the kids getting out. They only
had, I think, 4 seasons in mind. I think they had a final. I think they had a full story, kind of like us and our project. You know, they had a thing in mind already, and then they knew where they were going. So hopefully this will be the best season ever. Their marketing leaves a lot to be desired, but that's just my opinion.
And hey, it's an expendable opinion.
That's true.
Oh.
Dang, man, that sounds like a perfect time to cut off because we're at an hour and 5 minutes.
Yeah, bro. I felt good about this. It's good to get the podcast back up and rolling. It just feels good to talk about things. Of course, I mean, I have people that I talk to, but not you. It's not you, man.
Well,
and I'm glad that we're doing this because you don't get to be on the podcast all that much.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
This is going to be a regular thing, And then we'll get Scott in here. I don't know. Maybe I can make room for him. I don't know how, but
Not that because he's fat. No, not because he's big. No, you mean just because.
Bro, are you putting dude? Don't put words in my mouth.
Because just the stuff in your space there, not because he's big, Scott.
Oh, can we talk about this really quick? Because it's Scott related. The fact that you hadn't listened to the podcast where he came out and said that he had cancer, and I made you listen to it.
So. Yes,
dude, that was awful. I was like, Scott, why, dude? He was like, because it was entertaining. And I'm like, but dude, it took you this long to tell us? Like, I mean, I get it. I get it. I mean, I would be weird about telling people too, but still.
Yeah, it makes sense. Now, apparently, some of the people I work with at the gym, a few of the older people have skin cancer, and there's a cream that like clears it up. Like this one lady I was overhearing a conversation literally 3 days ago, and she's like, she's like pointing at a mark in her head on her face. She's like, oh, that's skin cancer. And I'm thinking if I had skin cancer, I'm going out and like knocking stuff off of my bucket list. But she's like, every spring we just put some lotion on it and it clears right up. Like it's nothing, like it's acne. I'm like,
that would be cool if it was like acne.
Right. So she's like, my doctor wants me to put it on the skin cancer on my arms, but then I'll look like my skin is falling off. And I'm like, and she's so nonchalant about it. And then there's so many things going through.
Falling off. Death or skin falling off? Death. Skin falling off. Hello.
She was so nonchalant about it. Like through my head, I'm thinking, okay, so first off, how serious is skin cancer? Is it even that serious?
Yeah.
Although it is.
Yeah.
But
I had a math
the way
teacher
she was talking about it,
she had skin cancer. She was like so gung ho. She was like, "Put your sunscreen on. Put it on. Put it on." So
yeah. thought too, I'm like, so this lotion is a cure for skin cancer. What is in this lotion that we might be able to pull out and figure out other solutions?
Better yet, is the like skin cancer, are those cancer cells different than other cancer?
Right.
Like,
there's so many questions.
Yeah.
So now,
well, thank you, Scott, for getting cancer,
like,
so we could, question.
There's a whole new
all of these things.
There's a whole new level of questioning that I need to go, and now a lot of research I need to do. No, I'm not going to go look it up.
I'm not going to go look that up. I'm going to just ask
that's
Scott, who's definitely not looked it up. He's like,
he knows.
Just put some lotion on it.
Yeah, the doctor said to. The doctor said to put it.
Oh,
that's so weird.
Hey,
that's wild.
I'm glad that he's good. I'm glad he's good. But
yeah, that's fantastic.
I think we've expended ourselves with our expendable opinions. Yeah.
I think you're right.
I think
you're right.
I think that's that. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Be sure to follow us on all social media. You can find those links down below this video. Hey, we got a video. And below the podcast itself. Be sure to go on iTunes, give us 5 stars, share us with your friends, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Spillcorn, follow us here on The Expendable Opinion, and we will talk to you guys another time. Bye.
Peace out. See ya.